What is up, my guys and girls of YouTube? It is your boy Justin Omoi. I usually post on Mondays, but I had a little bit of an off because I was busy building that vocal booth. But why would I want to deny money? That's crazy, you know? So just the other day, I denied somebody for a $400 job, which is 2 songs to mix and master, and I'll go a little bit in detail with that later in the video. Why would I deny him the 400? I said, you know, I need money to build this vocal booth. I need money to live. Let's talk about, first of all, what you should avoid when it comes to doing services. In my example, I do mixing and mastering for people, so it's me doing a service for a client. The first thing you should watch out for, and this is a must, okay? Watch out for people who say, I only have a X amount of budget. Watch out for yourself, okay? You should not chase money. If people come up and be like, hey, I only got a budget for $200, what can I get? And you do mixing and mastering for $300, and you say, I do mixing and mastering for $300, but since you're new, I'll do it for $200 or something. You're chasing money, all right? So that's the first thing. You need to watch out for yourself. You set a value and you set a time or you set your worth in that sense. If you lower your value and keep the time or your worth the same right here, you're losing, okay? If you do this and do this, you're super losing. But if you do something like this and then even this, you know, I mean, you're kind of winning, but you're also changing up your prices, you're changing up yourself. You should keep it the same always, okay? Because if you do something like this one time for somebody, guess what? They're going to come back and they're going to want exactly this again. And hey, maybe even this, you know? If you say, hey, okay, I'll do it for $200. I usually do it for $300. They're going to come back. Hey, I only have $175 this time. Could you do something for me? Unless you're super cool with the person, you know they're going to, do you a favor and you worked with them for a long time. I guess it's okay to do it one time. I had it with a past buddy just now, a past client. He paid me like $800 one month in December. And then he said he'll hit me up in January like 5th or something, 8th. And I didn't get paid the rest until like a few days back. But I knew this guy, I worked with him a long time, so that's only the type of exceptions if you know the person and you trust the person. And if they don't, hit you back up, A, you lose a potential person who, try to cheat you out. That's kind of a good on you. And B, you should just avoid that altogether. You need to get paid. You need to get paid what you priced out in the beginning. If you change or if you fold, you're breaking your own business etiquette and you're looking like an idiot. So that's the first thing you want to watch out for is yourself, okay? Next thing you want to watch out for is people who only have an X amount of money, okay? It's understandable if they say, hey, my budget is $200, $250, what can I get? You could just tell them, okay, with $250, you can't get a mix and a mastering with me because I do it for $300. But if you want, you could hit me up for mastering. I do that for $100 or stem mastering for blah, blah, blah. Give them your options. If they're responsible, they'll be saying the word budget, but also they'll have money on the back and they won't feel like they're losing something, okay? Have you ever played poker? Have you ever gambled online? Have you ever took a risk? That's my question. If you ever took a risk before, like stocks and all, if you only have $100 and you're willing to spend $100 or use it, you're kind of critical with that money, It's kind of like you have a video game you want to buy and you have, multiple options. You're stressed out. What do I buy? Do I buy Pokemon Snap? Do I buy... What else is a new game coming out? I don't know. Monster Hunter Rise. Oh, God. Self-restraint, man. Self-restraint. But you're fighting between the two. You have something in your mind that's telling you, damn, should I do this? Should I do that? Think about it. If you hit somebody up and they say, man, I've been saving money. I've been trying to save money. I barely got money to do this. I have college. I got work. They're telling you shit that you don't even care about. I got 10 kids. I got 4 childs, 2 baby mamas. Something like that. They're giving you a sob story. They're telling you, hey, man, I don't got money. This is my last shot. This is something I can't even do without. Like, I had somebody that hit me up like this, man. It was so sad. I felt pity for him. But he said something along the lines of this, this is my only shot I have left. I'm just going to spend this. I don't feel like I could do anything. They're coming to you as a last resort, and this is the only amount of money I have left in my account. Never hit them up, okay? First of all, it's unmoral. It's like, I don't know, like, do you feel good about taking money from somebody when that's the only amount of money you have? It's like, damn. But on top of that, Think about it. If somebody only has this amount of money and they're hitting you up, chances are they're going to try and get the best out of you or try to get the best for their money because that's the only money they have. If they're critical about the money that they're spending, they're going to be overcritical about the result. And possibly they're going to try and want to get even more when, it probably is perfect already. Which is another talk I'll tell you about just now. But if you are one to only have this amount of money and you throw it all there in hopes to get something perfect, it's not very good for you mentally, and it's not also good for the person doing the work. And you as the person giving the service, think about it. If that's the only thing they have left, but even if you are perfect at your job, you know it. You just have this urge or this feeling that the person who only has this amount of money left in their account, they're not going to like it. They're not going to be satisfied and they're going to feel regretted. Especially if they make bad decisions. That's the type of mentality I have off a person. I only have $10 or I only have $100, man. Why are you hitting me up if you only have $100? You should work on making your own money, building yourself up, having enough money to be able to be like, okay, I have like $4,000. Let me hit you up for mixing and mastering. Not even $4,000. I got $1,000. Let me hit you up for mastering for $100, and then I'll have $900 left, and I can use this for whatever. That's the budget part. I just want to go into critical because if that's the only money they have left, they're going to have a whole bunch of issues with them that you wouldn't want to deal with. Like being a perfectionist, which is the next thing you would want to watch out for. Okay, watch out for people that wants to be perfectionists. This is the most annoying thing you as a person of service is going to deal with or are going to deal with. These people are never going to be satisfied, okay? Things to watch out when you hear the term perfectionist. You want to watch out for people who say, hey man, I want my vocals warm and crisp. I want them to sound perfect. I want them to sound nice. I want it to sound like a banger. I want this to sound like this, that. I want it to boost up into 400 hertz. But people who are perfectionists never see the end result they want. That's why with my vocal booth build, I screw up sometimes. I don't be like, shit, man, let me just go back and make it all over again, And I'll show you a clip right here. I accidentally sawed off a piece of the damn board. I was trying to trim the OSB and I saw sparks. I was like, oh, shit, I wasn't going straight. I cut into the wood. I didn't say, shit, man, let me just redo this whole wood. Let me rip out this wood. And I just used glue just to put a piece of the OSB back in. And I, just moved along. It's going to do its job. It's not like a detrimental cut. But if I were a perfectionist, this thing would never be finished because nothing's squared. When it comes to building, nothing ever feels square. Nothing's ever perfect. The room that you're in, it might not even be a perfect room. Your one side may be a quarter of an inch off from the next side. But when it comes to music, perfect is such a bad word to hear. So people who say, hey man, I want this to sound like this. I want it to sound exactly like that. Exactly. Look out for people who say exactly like this, exactly like that. I want it to sound like this. And especially if they give you bad quality audio to work with, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. But more into the perfectionist, you want to avoid those type of people because, one, they're never happy. And they're going to always be like, hey man, you said you're going to do this for me. Why didn't you make it, the way I wanted it? Ugh. That's why you got to set up revisions and make it clear in the first that you do revisions, but you also charge extra for more revisions. But for the people who try to want to be a perfectionist, they're going to try and swindle their way into you being like, yo, you said you're going to give me mixing and mastering. I don't feel like this is good. I want my money back. Those fucking cucks, I want to punch them in their fucking mouth. What's going to happen if you do accept these things is you're going to mix it the way you have it in your brain. And then those perfectionists who aren't perfectionists, keep in mind they're not the best of the best. They're going to be like, shit, why didn't it sound like the way I wanted it to sound? It's not good. Let me redo the vocals. Or shit, it doesn't sound good. Let me redo this punch. Let me redo this take. Hey, could you adjust this by like 2 decibels or some shit? They're going to sound like those smug people that talk like this. You're never going to be finished and they're never going to be happy. And until they learn that music is not perfect, they're not going to understand, they're not going to be able to do business or succeed. And they also have to realize that what they're listening in is probably not the best environment or the quality. Unless they do got it, then why the hell are they hitting you up? The last thing that I feel like you guys and girls should avoid is people who have bad quality or bad performance in their songs. It doesn't mean just dip real quick. Just tell them, be like, yo, this quality is not good enough for the type of service I'm doing. If I do this type of service for you, I feel like you will not be satisfied with it. So deny them right now, because if you do a snippet or do some work for them, put in a lot of effort and then be like, yo, this is how it sounds, they're not gonna feel like they're doing something good, and they won't hit you up again because their quality is bad. They're gonna think that you're bad and other people are gonna do it better. That's the type of mind. You have to let them know first off, yo, your quality is not good. You're recording in a snowball mic. Why are you hitting me up for $300 for mix and mastering if you're using a $50 mic? I suggest you do this or that. And I tell this every single day, left and right. I use an MXL 990 or some shit like that. It's like a $40 mic, 50. I tell them, yo, this does not sound good quality-wise. I suggest you don't hit me up. I suggest you improve yourself first before hitting me up. At least give them a warning. But some people just, they just don't perform good. And you as a business, if you accept that, you're just not, what's the word to say? You're not being a nice businessman. You're trying to polish a turd and give it to this person to be satisfied. I know in some cases, some people be like, okay, they want it, cool. They like it like that, cool. But, once this person broadcasts, be like, yo, Justin Omoi mixed and mastered this song, and the sound quality sounds like shit, and people listen to this, whose fault is it? I mean, yeah, it's their quality, but it's because you polishing that shit and, giving it to them. That's bad. You should turn down. And I don't mean turn down by being like, sorry, I can't do work, goodbye. I mean turn it down, be like, yo, it sounds cool, but the performance doesn't sound on point, as well as the quality. What are you using? That's what I tell people. What mic are you using? What is your setup looking like? So you get a better understanding of what this person's quality is the setting before you work on stuff. Those are the type of people that you should avoid talking with in terms of, doing business. Now, I did mention in the beginning that I denied a $400 job. I just want to explain this real quick, because it kind of had multitudes of what it was, Oh, homie hit me up. Hey, 2 tracks. Okay. Hey, work. I'm going to be able to build a booth. I'll just summarize it for y'all real quick just to make it easier on y'all. First of all, he said, I'm a good fan, or he's a great fan of my content. Thank you. If you're watching this, thank you. I don't want to mention your name, obviously. Before. But he said something along the lines of this, okay? First of all, I'm a college student. I've been trying to save up money for this. That's the first trigger, okay? I've been trying to save up money. When you hear that from somebody and they tell you their life story, usually means, shit, I don't have enough, or I'm trying to do something on a risk. So they mentioned that, and they said, what could I do for $200? I told them, hey, you could do mixing and mastering for $300. If you want, you can save up for that. Or mastering only for $100, which, I told him I recommend doing that if your song is good. What does your song sound like? He sent the song, and I approved the mix. I actually told him, I said, I like this mix. I would recommend only getting mastering. And in fact, I gave him a snippet too, because I said, I liked it so much. Here's a snippet, and this is what you could get. So I want to give him a snippet to give him the idea of how it sounds. And I even referenced it with another song to use, because I spent money on that damn MacBook and that tonal balance, and it only works on the MacBook. I said, let me do it. But then he said something along the lines of, could you also mix the song? I told him it sounds good. It sounds good to me. He wants to mix it too. Why does he want me to mix the song as well? I told him it sounds great. And in my head, it feels like, oh, he's trying to nitpick it. That means the song is great, but he wants it to be even better. Why? Oh yeah, I also told him there was some errors in his vocals, mainly declicking, which is just a quick little transition fade that he has to put on all the tracks. He was using Logic, and there's a simple way to just do that. But then he changed his mind. He said, can I get the mixing and mastering as well? I said, sure. And he said he also has another song. Then he said, instead of just one, could we get 2 of them? 2 to mix and master? I said, sure. And in my head right now, he's undecided. He's undecided. Another trigger in my head that says, hey man, what is going on? He only has $200, he said in the beginning. I told him the master is $100. So he wants 2 songs to mix and master now. That's $400. Where is he getting the extra money for this? He only said he only had 200. My mind is it feels a little like sus. No offense to you. Just the way he words it. Then I sent the invoice for the 2 songs. He sent the other song, by the way, and I said, yo, it sounds good too. And I did advise him yet again, yo, I'd rather just do mastering to it because it sounds good. I'm not saying this because I want to be lazy and just do mastering and I'd rather do mastering. No, I'm saying the mix sounds good, you know? So I sent the invoice, and then he didn't hit me up back since then. Like 5 days since. I got pissed, or I'm pissed in my head. I'm like, yo, this guy wanted to do something. He didn't hit me up. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, yo, maybe he's just not from here. Maybe he's just trying to, figure out how to put the money in or whatever. I don't know. I just kept silent because I said, you know what? Let me see how this plays out. So 6 days later, he hits me up after I sent that invoice. He says, yo, me and my team, we changed our mind. We don't want to do 2 songs. Could we do 1 song first? It sounds like a bunch of weird shit in my head now. Like, oh, now you want to do 1 song instead? I said, okay. Actually, let me see. After reviewing with my team, they actually want us to work on 1 song first to see the outcome before the second one. Is that okay with you? That's understandable. So I told him, if you want 1 first, it's going to be $300. If you send them both at the same time, it's $200 each. That's my thing, So I said, so if you do send just 1 to me, then 1 later is going to be another $300. And the other part is kind of pissing me off, You want 1 thing and then you change your mind to another thing. You say you only have this amount and now you have a team involved. It's just like, what the hell's going on here, man? I don't know what the fuck you want. And no offense, again, you're a cool person if you're watching this. So I gave him the straight up, yo, this is my prices. I'm not folding to his bullshit, And no offense, but you know what I'm saying. And then along the line, he said, remember I asked you to help me for $200? So what? What about it, Yeah, that was the first thing you said. And then I wrote, yeah, you said all you have is $200 to work with in the beginning. I said mastering for 2 songs is $200. But if you want to mix and mastering, it's $300. I'm not folding my price. Because if I do it, then you'd be like, all right, cool. Let me come back for another $200 instead of $300, So then he said, okay, let's just work on 1 first. And then he said something along the lines of, is there a way you can make the vocals a little bit longer and warmer and reduce the auto-tune a little? Keep in mind, he didn't send me a project file. He sent me split waves, and the sound already had effects on it. He sent me a dry and a wet. So at that point, I'm like, yo, fuck, man. You're just trying to, it feels like a long road. So I just canceled them out right there. Put it into quick words. Longer as in stretching out the vocals. I explained everything. I said, yeah, it's possible, but it'll be better if you re-record them because artifacts. As far as reducing the auto-tune, I can't do that on what you already sent me. And if I did, it'll affect the reverb as well. In terms of warmness, I told him I could just adjust the EQ or add a little bit of saturation to it. And then I laid it down. I said, if I were to mix and master the song, it won't be exactly like how your song already sounds. Okay? So that's just me rebuilding this thing up to it. And I told him right there. I said I could do my best to recreate what you already have. But then what's the point of hitting me up for mixing if you want that, So then I told him straight up, I said, to me, it just sounds like there's going to be too much nitpicking back and forth. In my head, he wants to change this, he wants to change that, he only has X amount of money, he wants to do this, and then he wants to do that. Undecided. In my head and my past experience and my understanding, it's not going to be worth it for me in the end. This was a long video, but I hope you guys and girls took everything I said into consideration. Not all business is good business. Just because somebody has money and wants to give you doesn't mean you should chase it or you should bend yourself to your will to make the money. That makes you the striving, business. That makes you look bad. So, with all that said, thank you so much for taking your time and listening to this. I hope it was informational to y'all. If you need mastering, hit me up, JustinOmoi.com. Or hey, maybe you would want that solid state logic fusion processing. Limited time right now as far as I could tell. On Fiverr, hit me up on Fiverr. Link will be in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts and peace. I'm out. And please have yourselves a damn good one.